Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I need you to lock in right now. I don't care what happened last year, last month, or even yesterday. 2025 is here, and it's time to make a decision. Some of you came into this year carrying the weight of the past. Mistakes, failures, setbacks. You've been holding on to things that should have been left in 2024. Listen to me. If you're still dwelling on what went wrong, you're already losing. It's time to reset. Wipe the slate clean. I'm talking about a full mental and emotional reset. Stop replaying the losses like they define you. Your past is a lesson, not a life sentence. This is a fresh year, a fresh season, and a fresh opportunity. Now, after you reset, it's time to restart. Some of you stop dreaming, stop grinding, stop believing because life knocked you down. But hear me when I say this, you still have time. As long as you have breath in your body, you have another shot. I don't care if you failed 100 times. Get back up. Champions are made in the comeback. Restart with more wisdom, more discipline, and more. And finally, you gotta refocus. Some of you have been distracted. Netflix, social media, negativity, toxic people. Listen to me, distractions are dream killers. 2025 is the year you stop playing small. The year you lock in, the year you get laser focused in on your purpose, your goals, your vision. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more wishing. It's time to go all in. Reset your mindset, restart your hustle. Focus on your purpose. This is your year. Let's get it. Reset. That's the first step. Before you can build something great, before you can achieve at the highest level, before you can even move forward, you have to clear the slate. Too many people are stuck, not because they don't have the ability, not because they don't have the talent, but because they're holding on to the past. They are chained to old failures, past disappointments, and mistakes that should have been left behind. The truth is, if you carry yesterday's baggage into today, you will never get to where you need to be tomorrow. Think about it. How many times have you allowed a setback to define your future? How many times have you let one bad experience stop you from trying again? How many times have you told yourself you can't because of something that happened years ago? The problem isn't that you aren't capable. The problem isn't that you aren't gifted enough. The problem is that you haven't hit reset. You're still playing old tapes in your mind, running the same negative thoughts, believing the same lies that say you're not good enough, smart enough, or strong enough. But let me tell you something, you are. When you reset, you free yourself. You give yourself permission to move forward without the weight of the past dragging you down. You give yourself permission to start over. And listen, there is no shame in starting over. There is no shame in saying, I made mistakes, but I'm ready to begin again. Some of the most successful people in the world failed over and over before they ever got it right. The difference between them, they knew when to let go. But here's where people get stuck. They think resetting means giving up. They think resetting means erasing everything, but that's not what it is. Resetting is about repositioning. It's about recalibrating your mind, your habits, your approach, so you can move forward with clarity and strength. Imagine a computer that's running too many programs at once. It slows down, it lags, it freezes. But when you hit reset, it clears out the clutter, reboots, and comes back stronger, faster, and ready to operate at full capacity. That's what you have to do. Some of you have been running with too much mental clutter, too many doubts, too many regrets, too much fear. You've been carrying the weight of things that no longer serve you. Maybe it's a relationship that didn't work out. Maybe it's an opportunity you missed. Maybe it's a failure that shook your confidence. Whatever it is, if it's still living in your mind, taking up space, and keeping you from moving forward, it's time to reset. And listen, resetting is not just a mental decision. It's an intentional action. That means you have to actively let go. That means you have to stop replaying the past. That means you have to stop beating yourself up over things you cannot change. Every day you spend living in regret is a day you lose moving towards your future. Every day you dwell on what went wrong is a day you're not building on what can go right. You can't change yesterday, but you can absolutely change today. When you reset, you have to be deliberate about what you allow back into your life. You don't just reset and then reload the same toxic habits, the same negative thinking, the same distractions. No, when you reset, you have to upgrade. You have to step into a new version of yourself. You have to start thinking differently, moving differently, believing differently. Because if you reset but keep the same habits that held you back, you're just setting yourself up to repeat the same cycle. Some of you need to reset your mindset. You've been walking around with a defeated mentality for too long. You've been talking yourself out of greatness before you even give yourself a chance. You've been living in fear instead of faith. But today, you have to choose to reset your thinking. You have to choose to believe in yourself again. You have to choose to speak life over your dreams, your goals, your future. Because as long as you let negative thoughts run your mind, you will never step into your full potential. Some of you need to reset your environment. You're surrounded by people who don't push you, don't inspire you, don't challenge you. You're in circles where mediocrity is the norm, where complaining is the culture, where growth is not even a conversation, and you wonder why you feel stuck. You wonder why you feel uninspired. You wonder why you're not moving forward. Listen, your environment matters. The people you surround yourself with matter. If you want to go to the next level, you have to be in spaces that stretch you, that sharpen you, that make you better. Some of you need to reset your work ethic. You keep saying you want success, but your actions don't match your words. You keep saying you want to be great, but you're not putting in the work. You keep saying you want to change, but you're not willing to do what it takes. Listen to me. Success is not about what you say you want. It's about what you are willing to work for. If you're not putting in the effort, if you're not showing up every single day with discipline and commitment, then you're not serious. You're just talking. Reset your work ethic and get to it. Some of you need to reset your habits. What you do every single day determines where you go in life. Your success is not built in one big moment. It's built in the small, consistent habits that add up over time. If you're not happy with where you are, look at your daily habits. What are you doing every day? What are you prioritizing? What are you investing your time in? If you're spending more time on distractions than on your goals, then it's time to reset. Resetting requires self-awareness. You have to be honest with yourself about what's holding you back. You have to be willing to look in the mirror and say, this is not who I want to be. This is not how I want to live. And then you have to do something about it. Too many people acknowledge their problems, but don't change. Too many people complain about their circumstances, but don't take action. Don't be one of those people. When you reset, commit to real change. And let me tell you something, resetting is not always easy. It takes courage, it takes strength, it takes discipline, because it means stepping away from what's comfortable. It means breaking free from what's familiar. It means challenging yourself to grow in ways that may feel uncomfortable at first. But that's what it takes to level up. That's what it takes to truly move forward. If you want to win in 2025, if you want to step into the best version of yourself, if you want to accomplish everything you've been dreaming of, then you have to be willing to reset. Not halfway, not with hesitation, but completely. Reset your mind, reset your habits, reset your focus, because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to start fresh. Restart. That's what needs to happen. Too many people get stuck in the same cycle, repeating the same pattern, stay in the same place year after year. They get knocked down, and instead of getting back up, they stay down. Instead of finding a new way, they make excuses. Instead of restarting, they accept defeat. But listen, life is not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up. It's about how many times you're willing to start again, to keep going, to refuse to quit. Because the only way you truly lose is if you stop trying. You have to understand that restarting is not failure. Restarting is an opportunity. Restarting is you saying, I'm not done yet. Restarting is you refusing to let setbacks define you. So many people are afraid to start again because they feel like it means they've wasted time, that they're behind, that they should already be further along. But let me tell you something. There is no timeline on success. There is no deadline on your dreams. You are not too late, and you are not too far gone. The only thing standing between you and where you want to be is your willingness to begin again. Maybe you started something in the past and it didn't work out. Maybe you launched a business and it failed. Maybe you tried to get in shape and you quit. Maybe you started working on your goals and you got distracted. Maybe life happened and you lost focus. Maybe you got discouraged and you gave up. The greatest success stories are built on comebacks. The strongest people are the ones who kept pushing forward even when everything around them told them to stop. Restarting doesn't mean you start from zero. It means you start from experience. It means you start with more knowledge, more wisdom, more understanding of what works and what doesn't. The first time you tried, maybe you didn't have the right strategy. Maybe you weren't as disciplined. Maybe you didn't know what you know now. But that's the beauty of restarting. You get to come back stronger. You get to apply the lessons you've learned. You get to move smarter, work harder, and push further than before. Some of you have been sitting in a season of hesitation for too long. You've been waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect circumstances, the perfect opportunity. But let me tell you something. There is no perfect moment. There is no ideal time. The only time you have is now. And if you don't take action now, you're going to look back a year from today and wish you had. You're going to wonder why you waited, why you hesitated, why you let fear stop you. The truth is, the longer you wait, the harder it gets. The longer you sit on the sidelines, the more difficult it is to jump back in. But if you make the decision today, right now, to restart, you set yourself up for everything that's waiting for you on the other side of consistency and hard work. Some of you need to restart your goals. You made a plan, you set a vision, but somewhere along the way, you lost focus. Somewhere along the way, you got comfortable. Somewhere along the way, you settled. But listen to me. Just because you lost momentum doesn't mean you lost the dream. Just because you took a detour doesn't mean you can't get back on track. You need to pull those goals back out, dust them off, and go after them like your life depends on it. Because at the end of the day, you either make excuses or you make progress. But you can't do both. Some of you need to restart your discipline. You started strong, you were consistent, you were locked in, but then you got tired. You let distractions creep in, you got too comfortable. You started cutting corners, and now you're wondering why you're not seeing results. Listen, discipline is not about doing what's easy, it's about doing what's necessary. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about sticking to the plan even when motivation runs out. Restart your discipline. Get back to doing what you said you would do, even when it's hard. Some of you need to restart your belief in yourself. Life hit you, and it shook your confidence. You failed, and now you doubt yourself. You tried, and it didn't work, so now you're questioning if you even have what it takes. But let me tell you something. You still got it. You still have everything inside of you that you need to succeed. The only difference between you and the people winning is that they never stopped believing. They never let failure convince them they weren't good enough. They never let setbacks define them. Restart your belief. Remind yourself who you are, what you're capable of, and what you were created to do. Some of you need to restart your work ethic. You want success, but you're not putting in the hours. You want results, but you're not willing to sacrifice. You want the rewards, but you're not grinding for them. Listen, success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who work. It comes to those who show up every day, put in the effort, and refuse to be outworked. Restart your hustle. Get back to moving with urgency. Get back to chasing your dreams like your life depends on it. Restarting is not about looking back. It's not about dwelling on the past. It's about deciding right now that you are ready to move forward. It's about making the commitment to yourself that you will not stay in the same place. It's about pushing past every excuse, every fear, every doubt, and saying, I am ready, because when you restart, you take control of your future. You put yourself back in the driver's seat. You stop waiting and start doing, and that's the difference between people who dream and people who achieve. Some of you have been waiting for a sign, waiting for a moment, waiting for someone to tell you it's time. This is it. This is your moment. This is your confirmation. You don't need permission to go after what's yours. You don't need validation to start again. All you need is the courage to make the decision and the discipline to follow through. Restarting doesn't mean you forgot what happened. It doesn't mean you ignore the pain, the struggles, the obstacles. It means you choose not to be defined by them. It means you take everything you've been through and use it as fuel to push forward. It means you refuse to let your past dictate your future. Restarting is a mindset. It's a mentality. It's a decision to refuse to settle, to refuse to give up, to refuse to accept anything less than your full potential. Because at the end of the day, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to do it for you. If you want to see change, if you want to see results, if you want to step into the next level of your life, then you have to make the choice. You have to take action. You have to be willing to start again as many times as it takes. Refocus. That's what it takes. That's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. It's not just about starting, it's about staying locked in. But listen, success isn't about how you start, it's about how you finish. And you can't finish strong if you're not locked in, if you're not focused, if you're not willing to eliminate anything and everything that stands between you and your goals. Some of you started 2025 with a vision. You had goals, you had dreams, you made plans. But somewhere along the way, you lost sight of them. Somewhere along the way, you got distracted. Maybe it was social media pulling your attention every 5 minutes. Maybe it was toxic people filling your head with doubt. Maybe it was self-sabotage, you telling yourself you weren't good enough, you weren't ready, you weren't capable. Whatever it was, you let it take your focus off the mission. And now you're frustrated because you're not where you want to be. But listen to me. Where you are right now is not the problem. The problem is what you're focusing on. The problem is where you're putting your energy, your time, your effort. Because whatever you focus on, you feed. Whatever you focus on, you grow. If you focus on your doubts, they will multiply. If you focus on your fears, they will paralyze you. If you focus on distractions, you will waste time. But if you focus on your purpose, your grind, your goals, then nothing can stop you. That's why you have to refocus. That's why you have to shift your mindset, remove the distractions, and lock in like never before. Because the truth is, life is not going to slow down for you. Life is not going to hand you success just because you want it. You have to go get it. You have to be intentional. You have to be disciplined. And you can't do any of that if you're not focused. Some of you have been focusing on the wrong things for too long. You've been focusing on what other people think. You've been focusing on things you can't control. You've been focusing on negativity, on fear, on doubt, on failure. And you wonder why you're stuck. You wonder why you're not seeing results. But let me tell you something. You can't expect to win if your mind is focused on losing. You can't expect to grow if all your energy is going toward things that don't move you forward. You have to be ruthless with your focus. You have to decide that you will not let anything pull you away from what you're working toward. Because if you don't take control of your focus, you will waste days, weeks, months, even years, spinning in circles and never making real progress. Some of you need to refocus your mind. You've been letting negativity control you. You've been feeding yourself doubt instead of confidence. You've been talking yourself out of opportunities instead of stepping into them. But listen, your thoughts shape your reality. What you believe about yourself determines how you move, how you work, how you show up every single day. If you believe you can't, you won't. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll never try. If you believe success is for other people but not for you, you'll never put in the work to make it happen. But the second you shift your focus, the second you start feeding yourself confidence, the second you start telling yourself that you can, that you will, that you must, that's when everything changes. Some of you need to refocus your habits. You say you want success, but are your daily actions aligned with that? Are you spending more time watching TV than you are working on your craft? Are you spending more time scrolling through social media than you are building your future? Are you surrounding yourself with people who push you forward, or are you hanging around people who keep you comfortable? Because let me tell you something, your habits will determine your results. You can't say you want something and then not back it up with action. You can't say you want to be great and then spend all day doing things that don't contribute to your growth. If you're not seeing progress, check your habits. If you're not where you want to be, check where your time is going. Success is built in the little decisions you make every single day. Some of you need to refocus your priorities. You've been spending too much time on things that don't matter. You've been saying yes to everything, stretching yourself too thin, giving your energy to things that don't align with your purpose, and because of that, you don't have the time, the energy, or the mental space to focus on what really matters. Listen, you can't do everything. You can't be everywhere. You can't please everyone. If you want to win, you have to focus on what's essential. You have to cut out the noise. You have to say no to the things that don't serve you so you can say yes to the things that do. Some of you need to refocus your circle. The people you surround yourself with are either pushing you forward or holding you back. They're either feeding your vision or draining your energy. And some of you are trying to grow, trying to level up, trying to become the best version of yourself, but you still hang around people who aren't moving in the same direction. And that's why you're struggling. That's why you're not making progress. Because every time you take a step forward, they pull you 2 steps back. You need to evaluate your circle. You need to ask yourself, are the people around me helping me focus? Or are they pulling me away from my goals? Because if they're not helping you grow, then they're keeping you stagnant. Refocusing is about realignment. It's about bringing your attention back to what truly matters. It's about shutting out the noise, cutting out the distractions, and making a commitment to yourself that nothing will pull you away from your mission. And listen, it's not easy. It's not comfortable. It's going to require you to make sacrifices. It's going to require you to say no to things you used to say yes to. It's going to require you to move differently, to think differently, to operate on a higher level. But that's what it takes to be great. Distractions will always be there. Excuses will always be available. But so will opportunity. So will growth. So will success. The question is, what are you going to focus on? What are you going to give your energy to? What are you going to allow to shape your life? Because at the end of the day, your focus is your power. And whatever you focus on will determine where you go, who you become, and what you achieve. Commitment. That's what separates the ones who succeed from the ones who don't. That's what makes the difference between those who reach their goals and those who fall short. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not resources, it's commitment. It's the ability to stay locked in, stay disciplined, stay consistent, no matter what. Too many people start strong but quit when it gets hard. Too many people say they want success, but the moment they face a challenge, they back down. Too many people have dreams, but they never turn them into reality because they lack the commitment to see them through. Commitment means showing up when you don't feel like it. Commitment means putting in the work even when no one is watching. Commitment means staying disciplined when the excitement wears off. What happens when obstacles get in your way, that's when commitment is tested. That's when you find out if you really want it or if you just like the idea of it. Some of you have been talking about your goals for years, but you haven't fully committed. You've been saying you want to start that business, but you haven't taken the first step. You've been saying you want to get in shape, but you keep making excuses. You've been saying you want to change your life, but you're not willing to sacrifice. And that's the problem. You want the results, but you don't want to do what it takes. You want the rewards, but you don't want the struggle. You want the success, but you don't want the discipline. But listen to me. Commitment means doing it no matter what. Commitment means going all in. Commitment means making up your mind that nothing will stop you. Some of you are waiting to feel ready. You're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect circumstances. But let me tell you something. There is no perfect moment. There is no perfect time. The only time you have is right now. And if you don't commit now, if you don't start now, you'll be in the same place a year from today, wondering why nothing has changed. Commitment is about taking action, not waiting for conditions to be ideal. It's about deciding that no matter what, you will move forward. No matter what, you will do what you said you would do. No matter what, you will not give up. Some of you need to commit to your habits. You've been inconsistent. You've been starting and stopping, making progress and then falling off, and that's why you're not seeing results. Success is not built on one big moment. It's built on the small daily actions that add up over time. You have to commit to showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, because that's what separates the great from the average. Some of you need to commit to your mindset. You keep letting fear control you. You keep letting doubt hold you back. You keep talking yourself out of your own potential. But listen, your mind is either working for you or against you. And if you don't take control of your thoughts, they will take control of you. You have to commit to believing in yourself, to speaking life over your dreams, to shutting down every negative thought that tries to tell you that you can't. Because if you don't commit to the right mindset, you will never commit to the right action. Some of you need to commit to your vision. You had a dream, but you let life distract you. You had a goal, but you let challenges discourage you. You started, but you let setbacks stop you. But listen, the people who win are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who never quit. They're the ones who stay committed even when it gets hard. They're the ones who keep pushing even when they don't see immediate results. They are the ones who refuse to settle, who refuse to let anything stand in their way. Commitment means making sacrifices. It means saying no to things that don't align with your goals. It means cutting out distractions, cutting out excuses, cutting out anything that is not pushing you forward. Some of you are struggling because you're too comfortable. You're too attached to the things that are keeping you stuck. You're spending too much time on things that don't matter, giving your energy to things that don't serve you. But if you really want success, you have to be willing to let go of what's comfortable so you can step into what's possible. Commitment means holding yourself accountable. It means doing what you said you would do even when no one is checking on you. Too many people rely on external motivation. They need someone to push them, to remind them, to hold their hand. But the truth is, if you need someone else to keep you committed, you will never make it. Because there will be days when no one is there to push you. There will be days when you have to be your own motivation. And that's when commitment matters most. That's when discipline kicks in. That's when you find out if you really have what it takes. Some of you need to commit to finishing what you start. You've started so many things, but you haven't followed through. You've made so many promises to yourself, but you haven't kept them. And every time you quit, every time you give up, you lose confidence in yourself. You start to believe that you're not capable. But listen, the only way to build confidence is to prove to yourself that you can follow through. The only way to believe in yourself is to do what you said you would do. The only way to win is to keep going, to keep pushing, to refuse to quit no matter how long it takes. Some of you need to commit to taking massive action. You've been thinking about your goals for too long. You've been planning, strategizing, waiting, overanalyzing. But let me tell you something. Thinking about it won't get you there. Planning won't get you there. Waiting won't get you there. The only thing that will get you there is action. The only thing that will change your life is putting in the work every single day with relentless commitment. Commitment means staying focused when distractions come. It means staying disciplined when temptations arise. It means staying strong when challenges hit, because they will hit. Life will test you. The journey will not be easy. But that's why commitment is necessary, because without it, you will give up. Without it, you will settle. Without it, you will never see the results you're capable of. Some of you need to make a decision today. You need to decide that from this moment forward, you will be all in. You will be fully committed. You will not waver. You will not doubt. You will not hesitate. You will do whatever it takes. Because at the end of the day, success doesn't come to those who want it. Execution. That's where everything changes. That's the difference between people who talk about their dreams and people who actually live them. That's the line that separates those who make progress from those who stay stuck in the same cycle year after year. Everybody has ideas. Everybody has goals. Everybody has something they want to achieve. But the reality is, very few people actually execute. Very few people actually take consistent action. Very few people actually do what they say they're going to do. Some people think success is about talent, about luck, about waiting for the right moment. But listen, the people who win are not the ones who wait. They're not the ones who sit back hoping for a break. They're the ones who take action. They're the ones who execute day in and day out, even when they don't feel like it. They're the ones who stop making excuses, stop overthinking, stop waiting for permission, and start making things happen. Some of you have been stuck in planning modes for too long. You've been researching, studying, thinking about your next move, but you haven't actually moved. You keep telling yourself you need more time, more information, more preparation, but the truth is, you're just scared to start. You're scared of failure. You're scared of judgment. You're scared of stepping into the unknown. But let me tell you something. Fear doesn't go away by thinking about it. Fear doesn't disappear by waiting. The only way to overcome fear is through action. The only way to build confidence is through execution. The only way to make progress is to take that first step, then another, until you create momentum. Some of you have been executing, but you haven't been consistent. You show up when you feel like it. You put in the work when it's convenient. You give effort when you're motivated. But listen, execution is not about convenience. Execution is not about doing it when you feel good. Execution is about discipline. It's about showing up every single day, no matter what. It's about putting in the work, even when you're tired, even when you're frustrated, even when you don't see immediate results. Because that's how progress is made. That's how success is built. Some of you execute for a little while, but the moment you don't see instant results, you start to doubt yourself. You start to question if it's worth it. You start to wonder if you should quit. But let me tell you something. Execution is not about instant gratification. Execution is about long-term commitment. It's about trusting the process even when you don't see immediate rewards. It's about planting seeds, watering them every day, and believing that in time they will grow. Most people fail not because they don't start, but because they don't stay consistent long enough to see results. Some of you have been executing, but you're not giving 100%. You're going through the motions. You're putting in effort, but it's not your best. You're showing up, but you're not locked in. And then you wonder why you're not getting the results you want. But listen, half-hearted execution leads to half-hearted results. If you want to see real progress, if you want to create real change, you have to give everything you've got. You have to work like your life depends on it. You have to show up with energy, with intensity, with urgency. Because every moment you waste, every opportunity you let slip by, every day you don't give your all, you don't get that time back. Some of you need to execute with urgency. You keep telling yourself you have time. You keep acting like you can start tomorrow, next week, next year. But let me tell you something. You don't have time to waste. You don't have time to keep waiting. You don't have time to keep pushing things off. Because every day you wait is a day you could be building. Every day you hesitate is a day someone else is taking action. Every day you delay is a day you could be making progress. Execution means moving now. Execution means understanding that if you want it, you have to go get it. Not later, not someday, but right now. Some of you need to execute with intensity. You've been playing it safe. You've been holding back. You've been working, but you haven't been pushing yourself. But listen, you don't get extraordinary results with ordinary effort. You don't build greatness by staying comfortable. If you want to separate yourself, if you want to level up, if you want to reach your full potential, you have to push past what's comfortable. You have to demand more from yourself. You have to be willing to go all in, to give more effort, to do the extra work that most people won't do, because that's what it takes to be great. Some of you need to execute without excuses. You've been letting your circumstances control you. You've been telling yourself that you don't have enough time, enough money, enough resources. But listen, there will always be obstacles. There will always be challenges. There will always be reasons to quit. But the people who succeed are the ones who execute despite the obstacles. They're the ones who figure it out, who find a way, who refuse to let anything stop them. Because at the end of the day, either you make excuses or you make progress. But you can't do both. Some of you need to execute with focus. You've been spreading yourself too thin. You've been chasing too many things at once. You've been trying to do everything, and because of that, you're not making real progress in anything. But listen, execution is about locking in. Execution is about choosing one thing and going all in. Execution is about cutting out distractions, eliminating anything that doesn't align with your goals, and putting all your energy into the thing that matters most. Because if you try to do everything, you won't do anything well. But if you focus, if you commit, if you execute with precision, that's when you see results. Some of you need to execute with resilience. You're going to face setbacks. You're going to experience failure. You're going to hit roadblocks. But listen, execution means pushing forward anyway. Execution means getting back up no matter how many times you fall. Execution means understanding that failure is part of the process, that setbacks are temporary, that the only way to truly lose is to stop trying. The people who succeed are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who refuse to quit. Some of you need to execute with confidence. You've been doubting yourself. You've been questioning whether you have what it takes. You've been playing small because you're afraid of failing. But let me tell you something. You have everything you need inside of you. You have the ability. You have the strength. You have the potential. The only thing standing between you and success is your willingness to execute, your willingness to step up, to take action, to believe in yourself enough to go after what you want. Execution is the key. Execution is the game changer. Execution is the one thing that separates people who dream from people who achieve. Because at the end of the day, success is not about what you say you're going to do. It's about what you actually do. It's about the actions you take, the work you put in, the consistency you show. Or are you going to be someone who executes? It all comes down to this. What are you going to do? You've heard the message. You know what it takes. You understand that success is in your hands. But none of that matters if you don't move. None of that matters if you don't take action. None of that matters if you don't commit, execute, and stay locked in when it gets tough. You can't keep waiting. You can't keep hesitating. You can't keep putting your goals on hold thinking you have more time. Because every second you waste is a second you can't get back. You have to make a decision, a real decision, not a half-hearted commitment, not a maybe someday, not a when I feel ready. Right now, you have to decide that no matter what, you are going to go all in. No matter what, you are going to push through. No matter what, you are going to give it everything you got. Because if you don't, you'll be in the same place next year, looking back with regret, wondering what could have been if only you had taken action. The people who win in life are not the smartest. They're not the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who refuse to settle, the ones who show up every single day and put in the work no matter how they feel. They execute when they're tired. They execute when they don't see results. They execute when no one believes in them. And because they stay locked in, because they refuse to let anything stop them, they win. So what's it going to be? Are you going to stay the same, making the same excuses, living the same life year after year? Or are you going to step up, reset your mindset, restart with intention, and refocus on your purpose? This is your moment. This is your time. No more talking, no more waiting, no more hoping. It's time to move. It's time to execute. It's time to become everything you were meant to be. Let's go.